Kate, Katrina exclaimed. We are here to talk about other things, not Alessandra. I am sure the Duke does not wish to hear what you have to say. We should just excuse her. No, no. I want to hear what she has to say. Please, tell me what controlled me last night. Edgar urged Kate to continue. His eyes twinkled. It was painfully obvious her mother was trying to save her from embarrassment, but the Baroness was being completely ignored by her determined daughter.
You've heard the rumors about Alessandra, right? They say she is cursed, and if you look at her face, you shouldn't let someone like that into your home. You should bring her back to us before something bad can happen to you or one of your valued servants. I care for you, which is why I say this.
Edgar hummed, intrigued by her stupidity. What do you think about your sister, Kate? Do you believe from the bottom of your heart that she is cursed? Do you wish for her to never be near you or your family ever again? I can make this happen if you desire it.
Really?
Kate was ecstatic to hear this. With Alessandra not around, the Duke was finally coming to his senses.
Please send her away. Alessandra has always been hard for us to take care of, and she needs help somewhere to make her normal again. After seeing her face, someone truly did pass away. I have no clue what possessed her, but the church might be able to help. I heard they have a special place for people like her.
You truly believe Alessandra has cursed me? Edgar replied, using all his strength not to laugh at Kate just yet. He always wondered what the people enough to believe these rumors looked like, and now he had a clear image thanks to Kate. Very well. I see to it she is somewhere out of reach from you. Katrina sighed as she picked up where Edgar was going with this. He was sitting here, toying with Kate, but Kate could not see it.
Thank you, Duke Edgar. Where will you send her? To the church in Lockwood or the one in the next town? I hear the next one is extreme and can save anyone. Alessandra will be happy to hear we are helping her.
Kate could not contain her excitement about finally getting rid of Alessandra. Of course, Edgar would want to send Alessandra away after spending one night with her. Now, it was time for Kate to take her rightful place beside him. I will keep her at my home, Edgar replied.
Yes, that's the best.
Kate's words trailed off as it slowly dawned on her what Edgar said.
What? Why would you keep her in your home? You are to send her somewhere far away.
You accepted that I keep her from being near your family. As my wife, Alessandra will not be socializing with all types of people. I have granted your request, Kate. You should be thanking me. Isn't that right, Baroness? Edgar looked at the sad woman. She flinched, hearing him address her. If there was anyone who wanted to dig a hole and leave right now, it was Katrina.
As your wife? What sort of sick joke is this?
Kate began to laugh. She glanced at her mother, expecting her to also laugh along, but Katrina whispered an apology to Kate.
You cannot marry her.
Kate abruptly stood up.
I will not let you marry her.
It appears no one in this house knows what the definition of a wife is. Alessandra is not my fiancée, she is my wife, as we got married last night. There is nothing for you to object to. I would appreciate it if you keep your word and stay away from Alessandra. due to the bad relationship she shared with you over the years. It is good for everyone to be apart," said Edgar.
You are aware I have feelings for you, but you went ahead and entertained my sister. How can you be so cruel, Edgar?
Kate pressed her nails into the palm of her hand to refrain from crying in front of Edgar. As her heart broke, she still continued to love him. Her hope for them to be together was still there. Cruel. Edgar chuckled, as this was the one time he could not be called cruel. "Yes, I was well aware of your feelings, and each time you tried to make a move, I rejected you. It is your fault for continuously chasing after someone who doesn't care for you. Have some pride, Kate. You are the daughter of the late Baron."
Why her? Have you not heard that her face is ruined? People will talk about your marriage for years to come. She is not a woman suited for you, Edgar. I am much better. Take me.
Kate tried to walk up to Edgar, but Katrina quickly stood up to block her daughter. "It is a good thing I have never cared what others think of me. Alessandra and I will be fine. You, on the other hand, should work on appearing less desperate before others. As entertaining as it was, I shall pretend I never saw you act this way so you can keep your dignity. Baroness, see to it your daughter does not come near me nor my wife, or you will be the only Barrett left." Edgar gave a warning. The childish chasing that Kate did had to stop now that he was married. He tolerated it because he understood young girls could hardly control their feelings. But now, her desperation filled the room. It was more than overbearing now. With eyes on the brink of tears, Kate said,
You will regret this. I will make you see you have picked the wrong woman.
if Kate could not have Edgar, then neither could the likes of Alessandra. To take Alessandra from Edgar, Kate planned to rise to their status, where she would have the power to get rid of Alessandra once and for all. "And you wonder why I have never shown interest in you?" Edgar shook his head, disappointed with Kate's determined delusion. Still, he had to admire his charm to make a woman act this way. "She will not bother you, Duke Edgar. I will make sure of it." Katrina planned to help Kate snap back into reality. Kate was not only embarrassing herself, but Katrina as well. "Kate, leave, right now." To her mother's surprise, Kate turned on her heel and walked away. There was a lot of planning to be done if she was going to rise to Edgar's level. Today would be the last day she lost to Alessandra ever again. "I'm sorry about her behavior. Kate is blinded by love right now, but she will soon snap out of it. I raised a wonderful young woman, and it's a shame you could not find it in your heart to love her back," said Katrina. "The definition of wonderful must have changed since the last time I took a look at it," Edgar stated, as he missed where Kate was a wonderful young woman. "What on earth are you trying to say, Duke Edgar? My husband and I raised Kate to be the wonderful person that she is now. We spent money on the best tutors and dressed her up like a doll." Katrina failed to see what was not wonderful when it came to Kate. "Which part of looking like a doll makes someone a wonderful person? Might I inquire what happened to Alessandra while she lived here? What was her relationship like with her sister? I picked up on the first time I saw them interacting." "Siblings argue. They fight and they make up, but that does not mean that Kate is a bad person. You cannot listen to only Alessandra." Katrina became worried Alessandra might have spoken of the many things that happened in this home. If Alessandra were to talk about how she was treated or the things she saw her father doing, their reputation might take a hit. Well, what happened to her face? Edgar had been curious about it from the moment he saw Alessandra. He suspected Katrina and Kate, but judging from how emotional Kate was, he knew it had to be her. Katrina and Desmond were just as bad as Kate for allowing it to happen. We are here to talk about my husband's, not my parenting skills. You do not know me well enough to judge me, Katrina replied, attempting to change the subject. I know a lot about you, Baroness. The mysterious woman who showed up out of nowhere and was able to marry a baron. Where did you live before Lockwood, I wonder? It must have been an awful place. Edgar hinted to Katrina as he was on to her past. You! Katrina gritted her teeth. The one thing she hated about the people in Lockwood was their constant need to question her past. Don't get so riled up, Baroness, as I was only teasing you. As long as you aren't hiding any crimes, I won't do anything to you. Why did you call me here? Edgar was ready to get to the point now that the entertainment with Kate was over. Katrina took a deep breath, suppressing her anger because of her past. She called the Duke for one thing only, and she planned to get it by the end of the day. As I was saying, my husband was the breadwinner, and you took him from us without reason. You have also gotten married to Alessandra and not offered us gifts. Don't you think we are deserving of... Money truly is the root of all evil. Did you spend last night calculating all the money you could collect from your husband's... You're holding up better than I expected. Edgar half expected her to be dramatically crying over the loss of her husband. Katrina might not have loved Desmond, but couldn't she at least shed a tear when acting as if she cared? Wasn't her goal to act like a heartbroken wife to gain money and sympathy from others? Didn't Katrina know she had to at least look sad? I have to remain strong in front of my daughter, so she knows we will be fine in the future. My husband is... and I have to worry about the expenses that will soon hit us. Do not get the wrong impression of me. Katrina innocently smiled. To be frank, I never had a good impression of you. I know the kind of person you are. Edgar could see right through the persona Katrina showed to others. Katrina was more dangerous than Kate. Kate wore her emotions on her sleeve, and you knew the type of person she was. Katrina, on the other hand, was good at pretending. Desmond had been too blinded by his wife's beauty to notice how odd she was. I will not be compensating you for your husband's, as I someone who committed crimes. Request an audience with the king if you are in need of money. He offers a small fund to families with no males. In regard to Alessandra, I will send gifts by tomorrow. Are we done? Asked Edgar. The Barrett house was still suffocating and unbearable. What kind of gifts will you send? Shouldn't we give you a list of things? Katrina preferred. The gifts could either be secretly sold or used to make others jealous. If she did the latter, others would want to be around the Barretts once again, as they would think they had a close relationship with Edgar. Alessandra will be the one to pick out the gifts, as she is the one to know you well, said Edgar. Whether they received a good or bad gift was completely up to Alessandra. I see. Have you eaten yet? We are preparing breakfast. Due to your marriage, we are family, and I hope we can spend some time together in the future. I wish to visit to make sure Alessandra is all right after losing a parent. Why are you laughing? Katrina asked as Edgar's laughter started to fill the small room. I did not say anything funny. Baroness, we are not in the theater. Drop the act as if you are a caring mother looking out for her child. You never cared for Alessandra, and it infuriates me to hear you acting like you do because she is now a duchess.
Edgar's laughter slowly disappeared as his facial expression changed from playful to serious.
Listen closely to the words coming out of my mouth. First, I will not be stepping foot in your house after today unless I am coming to kill you. Run if you see me at your doors. Second, you will never step foot on my estate. I don't even want to see you loitering around my wife. She was a bother to you, your husband, and your daughter. She is no longer your problem, so leave her alone. Whatever Alessandra told you, she never had to tell me anything, Baroness. Do you see these two things right here?
Edgar pointed at his eyes.
They work really well. If these two things see you or your daughter within arm's length of my wife, I will you. You cannot for wanting to speak to Alessandra. You would be thrown into a cell.
Katrina confidently spoke, as she saw through what she interpreted to be a bluff.
Fine. I will not go around Alessandra, but mark my words, she will be back. You will one day realize how terrible her reputation is. Don't bother trying to beg me not to say anything to others, Baroness. I have kept quiet about your secret from the moment I found out. As I am not one to care about those who work, we must all make a living somehow. However, you should tread lightly when it comes to Alessandra in the future. Understood? Yes,
Katrina quickly replied. She was certain she cleaned up all loose ends connecting her to once working in the... She only worked there as a maid.
You and I will be best friends when it comes to keeping Kate away from my wife, won't we? Now that we have an understanding, I will go to Alessandra's room to collect the things she left here. When I leave, you will properly inform your daughter to stay away from us. Had I known this was all it took to make you quiet, I would have mentioned your past sooner.
Edgar stood up, dusting off tiny objects that stuck to his clothes from the chair he sat in.
Filthy. Alfred would pass out, he muttered. I can lead the way to Alessandra's room.
Katrina stood up from her seat. She was concerned Edgar would not honor his words and tell the entire town of her past. Unfortunately, he was not a simple person she could get rid of. She would need to team up with someone who also wanted Edgar gone.
Care for a drink, Duke? So you can poison me?
Edgar bluntly replied.
Save it for someone else. I would be foolish to try poisoning you.
Katrina frowned as Edgar walked ahead of her. There was still the bottle of poison she gave to James, and if they were to use the entire bottle now, Edgar might drop dead by the end of the night. If only the man wasn't so suspicious of others.
I'd say the shoe fits,
Edgar replied. He would have to join the foolish club to accept any sort of food or drink after he had just revealed one of her secrets.
I remember the way to Alessandra's room. Do you know a young girl by the name of Sally? Alessandra is requesting her presence. Sally? She is the personal maid Desmond recently gave to Alessandra. She is quite new to this kind of work, so it would be better if you let her stay with us and hire someone else to serve Alessandra,
said Katrina.
Baroness, when you tell me not to do something, it makes me want to do it even more. Tell the girl to pack her things. I will judge if she is good enough to serve my wife, and if she is not, I will send her back to you. Please hurry, Baroness. My body is starting to itch,
said Edgar. He was starting to believe he was allergic to the house.
Excuse me for a moment,
Katrina replied, turning around to tell James to bring Sally. But first, she needed to have a chat with the young girl.
Finally. Feels like I have gotten rid of a tick. What a boring house. Edgar commented as he looked around while he walked to Alessandra's old room. The house had a lot of brown objects and no sort of color to make the house come alive.
If they sell this, they could pay off their debts. Why hold on to an expensive vase when you're drowning?
Edgar shook his head. He would never understand why everyone cared to make their houses look expensive. They were so close to only having bread and water for dinner. When would the town learn to stop living above their means? People like the Barretts loved to impress those richer than them, like Edgar. But Edgar was never one to care. He was more intrigued by how soon they would be living on the streets.
Someone tried breaking her door.
Edgar ran his finger down a crack in the middle of Alessandra's door. It had not been there the last time he paid a visit.
Smart girl.
He complimented Alessandra, as it meant she knew something was up and locked her door. He liked how Alessandra was a quick thinker. From asking him to join a marriage contract to knowing she had to lock herself inside, she tried to be one step ahead to avoid trouble in the future. If not for the marriage contract that night, she would have been sent to William. Had there not been a carriage waiting by the gates, she would have run away last night. Contrary to what anyone else thought, Alessandra was a fighter in Edgar's eyes. There were many others who sat around waiting to be rescued. Alessandra was her own hero. Edgar pushed open the door to be greeted by the sight of a room with an entirely different vibe from the rest of the house. There was color throughout the room thanks to paintings hung up on the walls, but it was clear no money was recently spent on the upkeep of the room.
How is she so calm after all of this?
Edgar wondered. If it was him in Alessandra's position, he would have barricaded all the doors and windows, then set the house on fire with his family in it. Alessandra's family placed her in a room that resembled one the servants used. Why wasn't she seeking out revenge on Kate and Katrina? How is this kind of life easy to let go and move on from?
My wife and I are polar opposites,
Edgar said, as he was not the forgiving kind when it came to this type of situation. Noticing a desk by the window with some sort of cloth dangling out the window, Edgar went to inspect it. He picked up the cloth and pulled it back inside.
Did she climb out the window with this flimsy-looking thing?
Edgar asked in disbelief. The material of the cloth looked like it could snap if too much weight was placed on it. Edgar once again started to regret giving Desmond such a quick death. He should have inflicted the same fear and panic Alessandra felt when she had no choice but to escape out the window.
Duke Collins, the Baroness sent me to help take out Alessandra's things. Only one person? I will help you.
Edgar began to roll up his sleeves to help. Turning around, he found a tall, buff man with red hair. This person could easily be a guard.
What is your role here? I am the cook, but as you can see, the Baroness has added more jobs,
Mario replied, picking up 2 bags belonging to Alessandra while Edgar fixed his shirt. He heard about Alessandra jumping out her window last night and wanted to know if she was all right.
Duke Collins, can I ask a question? You just did. Next time, ask for 2 questions. How is Alessandra? Is she all right after what happened last night?
Inquired Mario. As much as he was happy with Alessandra no longer living here, he once again changed his mind about her being with the Duke. The very man standing before him killed 2 men in one night. Mario was one of the servants tasked to clean up the blood and remove the 2 bodies. Mario was concerned Edgar might one day make Alessandra disappear.
Who are you to my wife?
Edgar questioned, giving the man another glance over now that he had mentioned Alessandra.
Alessandra had not mentioned anyone besides the young woman named Sally. Though the window was wide open and a breeze was coming into the room a moment ago, it suddenly felt as though the wind became still.
Relax, Duke. I am only a friend of Alessandra, and as her friend, it is my place to say if anything happens to her while she is in your home. I shall do anything I can to see you take your last breath. Do not hurt her.
Mario gave a warning. Edgar tried to take the man's words seriously, but in the end, he started to laugh. He couldn't help it when the threat sounded so childish.
It is not a joke.
Mario dropped the bags, tempted to punch Edgar. He regretted not finding another way for Alessandra to leave her family.
I'm sorry, but your threat is like someone going to the devil and pointing their little kitchen knife at him. I am happy to hear Alessandra has someone willing to kill for her, though you seem quite useless, as you stood by while she fought on her own. I am only the cook. What more could I have done?
Mario didn't like being judged by the Duke, as he had no idea how he had tried to help Alessandra.
Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I, on the other hand, am capable of protecting her. The threat was cute, but don't try to meddle in our new relationship. I have no time for overprotective friends who will question the slightest thing I do,
said Edgar.
I am looking out for her,
Mario replied.
This is true, but you also do not like the girl you started to have feelings for being with someone else. Let those feelings go, because I won't be letting her go. I do not have any feelings for Alessandra. I only view her as a little sister. There is no need for you to get competitive,
said Mario. He believed the Duke was only saying these things out of jealousy. Never once had he caught himself feeling some type of way towards Alessandra.
For your sake, I suggest you stop referring to her as your sister. When you are no longer in denial, you will see how gross referring to her as your sister is. Are you going to help me move her things, or do you plan to continue trying to threaten me? I have no time for the latter, and you should not continue to embarrass yourself.
Mario envied how Edgar feared nothing. To enter someone's home and kill them, or to laugh at a man taller or bulkier than himself, Edgar appeared to fear nothing. Mario knew the rumors about Edgar being a monster must have some truth in them.
Protect her. That's all I have left to say.
Mario picked up the 2 bags he dropped on the floor, hoping he had not broken anything of value.
Oh, there's more? I thought there was nothing left to say. I was ready to enjoy the silence.
Edgar rolled his eyes, mentally preparing himself to hear another lecture. It was already bad enough Alfred came to him early in the morning to give a lecture, and now the cook was giving him one about protecting Alessandra. Mario scoffed, annoyed by Edgar's sarcastic responses.
I just remembered something Alessandra's husband should know. You are referring to her as your wife, but I don't know if that means you two are already married. Alessandra used to keep her mother's wedding dress in her closet, but Kate took it and had it buried with the kitten she... What?
Edgar's eyebrows narrowed as he looked at Mario in disbelief. He remembered Alessandra had a kitten the day he came to propose to her, which meant this incident happened at the same time, right after he gave clear instructions to Desmond to treat Alessandra well. It was becoming less and less easy for him to allow Kate and Katrina to walk away without any punishment. It wasn't his battle to fight. But Edgar had always disliked seeing others be treated as if their lives didn't matter. This was why he was never kind to those who did not deserve it. Rather than doing something to the mother and daughter right now, Edgar knew it was best to have a conversation with Alessandra.
It happened the same day you proposed to Alessandra. I wish I could have been there to see it myself. You are right that I have done nothing. But now, I would like to ask a favor. Please find Alessandra's mother. She has been waiting long enough for the woman to return,
Mario said. The family Alessandra had to live with for 17 years was messed up. Though the previous Baroness had run and left her daughter, there was still hope for the woman to return to her daughter and make amends.
Alessandra deserves one caring family member. You are looking at that person.
Edgar pointed at himself as the one caring family member.
I am not aware of the circumstances with Alessandra and her mother, but I am going to make the assumption Alessandra does not want anyone to force her mother to come to see her. Her mother should come searching on her own if she truly wishes to see her daughter. I will deny your request. But denied,
Edgar exclaimed, taking the bags from Mario and then leaving the room. He was feeling hot, with no wind flowing into the room, and his skin was still itching.
Alessandra owes me something big for this torture.
He needed to be compensated for being in the Barrett house soon.
Edgar,
Katrina called as he walked to the front door.
You are a duke. It is disrespectful to have you carrying bags. James, please take them from him. You can hand the bag to me, Duke Collins.
James left Katrina's side to help Edgar.
No, thank you.
Edgar denied the offer. He knew if he stayed behind while others took the bags to his carriage, he would have to speak with Katrina again. He was not in the mood to do so.
Help the cook bring the canvas and the other bags. I'll be waiting in the carriage. Edgar, the young girl you requested is coming. Don't you wish to interrogate her now instead of waiting to get to your home and dislike her? I can offer a room for you to have privacy. Come, child.
Katrina glared at Sally, wishing the young girl would hurry. Anyone would love to be in her place. Going to live with Edgar?
I will speak to her in my carriage. I am meant to be with my wife right now, but I have spent so much time in your presence. It has been an interesting experience here at your home. May we never have to see each other again.
Edgar bid goodbye.
You know what to do or else,
Katrina whispered to Sally as she passed by. It was unfortunate Kate had not treated Sally well, as the young girl would be loyal to their family then.
I need to seriously discipline that girl,
she muttered. Kate's past behavior created numerous problems for the present. Katrina had been so busy paying attention to other things that she failed to realize Kate's flaws to fix them early enough. Kate was in desperate need of a tutor coming again to correct her behavior.
Can I help, Duke Collins?
Sally mustered up the courage to ask Edgar as they walked to the carriage.
Do I look weak in your eyes? Being a duke does not mean I am not meant to be lifting anything. I am more than capable of carrying my wife's bag,
Edgar replied. If someone were to ask him about the bags one more time, he might end up the person.
Wife.
Sally's eyes went wide.
When did he have time to marry Alessandra?
She wondered. From the moment Katrina sought her out and told her Alessandra was requesting her presence, Sally was confused as to why Alessandra would want someone who could not follow a simple instruction to be around her, unless Alessandra was calling her to her.
Is the Duke going to me?
Sally mentally panicked as the walk to the carriage became terrifying. She quite possibly could be walking to her own.
Is Alessandra truly petty enough to cry to the Duke about what happened?
Sally hugged her bag as the thought of her being close scared her. Rather than being on edge, she wanted to know whether or not she was going to live or...
Am I in trouble, Duke Collins?
She regretted the words as they left her mouth. Edgar handed the bags off to the coachman, then turned to look at Sally. He didn't know what to think of her just yet.
Did you do something to be in trouble?
Sally's palms started to sweat as she continued to panic. It was terrifying to have Edgar tower over her and his eyes scanning her for a flaw. Sally's eyes drifted from Edgar to the ground as if it were the most interesting thing in the world. Alessandra asked me to tie sheets together and hold on to them as she went out the window. I became scared because the Baron wanted her to open the door, so I released the sheets, causing her to almost fall to the ground.
And?
Edgar motioned for her to carry on after she stopped talking. There is nothing else, Sally softly replied. She did not know what more she needed to say.
You are shaking with fear as if you have done something worse. You did something idiotic, but Alessandra does not seem to care about it. If she doesn't care about this small matter, why would I care? Edgar asked Sally. There are bigger things to be dealt with than you.
His opinion of her changed from being nothing to a scaredy cat. People like Sally, who were scared easily, were not the best type to have around. If Alessandra were to be in danger again, there was a strong possibility Sally would run away rather than help Alessandra. He could pick out someone more reliable for Alessandra if this Sally girl proved to be useless.
Do you desire to work for my wife? I will only let you step into my carriage if you give an honest opinion of Alessandra. If you lie to me, then you will be in trouble. Speak quickly before the cook arrives.
Edgar looked past Sally to where Mario was coming with the bags. I don't know what to think of Alessandra. There are many rumors surrounding her face, cursing someone. I rarely had any interactions with her as I worked under Kate.
Why does it seem you are creating more reasons for why I should not take you?
Edgar unintentionally glared at Sally. The fact that she once worked for Kate made her untrustworthy. Sally took one step back to get away from the suffocating atmosphere around Edgar. I am only speaking the truth, as you asked me to.
The truth can annoy me, too. We will continue our conversation in the carriage. Get in, said Edgar. Her reply was honest, even though it annoyed him. They had no more time to waste standing around conversing, as the cook was now right beside them, and the butler was not too far behind. Edgar did not trust Mario, even though he claimed to be Alessandra's friend. No harm will come to me? Sally had to be certain before she took the carriage to her death. Being tortured by Kate was much better than dying. If you are not in the carriage before everything is packed up, consider it your fault for being left behind with these people. Make your decision quickly. Edgar wasn't Sally's motivation buddy to be encouraging her to get in the carriage. He already said there would be no trouble. Was she wishing for him to harm her? Annoyed with Sally already, Edgar got into the carriage, but left the door open for her to quickly make a choice. I would go with him. It is much better than staying here where you know Kate has it out for you. You can get paid more if you go with him. Go, Mario urged Sally. He knew where Sally lived, and when he wanted to know about Alessandra, he could go to Sally's home. What a hero, Edgar said out loud in a dry tone. He should change his job title from cook to hero. I really hate that man, Mario muttered, going to the back of the carriage to place Alessandra's bags. Are you staying? James questioned Sally as he passed by with a canvas and a bag. He didn't understand why the young girl was overthinking and taking so long to go with the Duke. He already told her to go with the Duke for a better life. Did she want to end up blackmailed like him? No, Sally made up her mind.
As long as she served Alessandra properly, there would be no need to worry about her life. She was certain she could please Alessandra. However, the Duke was another story. She was completely terrified of him and thought even the slightest actions she did might anger him.
Normally, I would have left you here.
Edgar spoke as she entered the carriage. He didn't enjoy others having to convince her to work in his home.
I am not the type to beg anyone to work with me. It is normally the other way around. You are lucky that I am trying to keep up being a wonderful husband.
Says the man who killed his wife's...
Sally trailed off as the realization she said this out loud hit her.
I'm so sorry. I wasn't thinking...
There is no need to apologize. By noon, that is what the entire town will be saying. I would kill him again if time were reversed. Actually, I would torture him rather than give him a quick death.
I see,
Sally whispered. She was confused as to why their conversation went to death and torture. Before her family was ruined by debt, she had the pleasure of being in the same room as the Duke, not as a servant, but as a lady. It was only now she realized how she spent more time admiring his looks rather than getting to know him. The boy which Sally once had a crush on now scared her as an adult. It was her mistake to only go by appearances and rumors from the other young women who liked Edgar. They were the ones to say Edgar was like a charming prince waiting to swoop his princess off her feet. Sally could only cringe at the thought now. Edgar was the evil prince waiting to kill the entire kingdom.
Why are you staring at me so much? I am a married man, you know.
Edgar happily interrupted Sally's daydream.
What?
Sally blushed, embarrassed she had been staring at Edgar this entire time.
I was thinking about the past.
I didn't know you in the past for you to be staring at me so much while you go over past memories. I have never met you before.
Edgar was good at remembering faces, but had no idea who Sally was.
We have met before. My family was rich before my father gambled too much and drowned us in debt. I attended many parties where you were in attendance,
Sally said, full of hope that he would remember her.
Did we speak? Sweetheart, there is a difference between meeting someone where you introduce yourself and staring from afar. You, my dear, were my stalker. Can you imagine how many people are out there saying that they've met me based on your logic?
Edgar shook his head. This was similar to how Desmond claimed he knew Edgar well enough for Edgar to pay a visit to his party.
I suppose you are right,
Sally answered, seeing how they had never met. She was always close by, waiting for him to notice her, just like the other young ladies who hoped he would show interest in them. Had he noticed her, would she be the Duchess right now?
Of course I'm right. Don't look so sad, as now you can say you have met me, and now you are working for me. Technically, you will work for Alessandra. Are we not done yet, Timothy?
Edgar called his coachman. He scratched his skin as it continued to itch, even outside of the Barrett home.
I am not going to die from poison, but from an itch caused by this home.
A while ago, we had a problem with bugs in certain rooms, which bit the family. They were taken care of, but I think you sat in a spot where some remained,
Sally said, as the way Edgar was relentlessly scratching his hand reminded her of how Kate was when she got bit. Edgar wasn't surprised to hear the Barretts had a bug problem, and now he was affected by it. Had he stuck to his role of never visiting the home, he would not be in this predicament. The Barrett household was filled with nothing but negativity and bad luck.
A little bit of ointment over the affected areas will stop the itching in a day.
Timothy!
Edgar yelled, startling Sally and everyone on the outside of the carriage.
Get me the out of here before I lose my mind.
Yes, sir.
Finally.
Alessandra muttered, slumping over to grab hold of the vanity desk before her. With no one to aid her, she spent a painful amount of time trying to button up the dress Edgar sent. It was the worst time for him to send a dress with strings to be tied at the back rather than the front. But Alessandra was not going to complain. Though it was a task she could have left alone and called for someone to help her with, Alessandra was determined to do it alone. She was independent when it came to these things, as she often had no choice.
I don't have the energy to style my hair. Should I just do a ponytail? That sounds good.
She gasped for air as the exercise from putting on the dress drained her energy.
I just need to sit on the bed for 1 second. Maybe lying down is better.
With trembling legs and sore arms, Alessandra slowly made her way to the large bed. Unfortunately, as her hand reached down to touch the bed, there was a knock at the door.
What good timing!
Alessandra cried on the inside. She was so close to feeling relieved, but the person at the door was yanking it away from her.
Please come in,
She called to the door.
Good morning, Duchess.
Alfred entered the room with a wide smile, which brightened up the room.
I hope you found the room to your liking and had a pleasant good night's rest. Is there something wrong?
He commented on the way she was positioned, as if she was going to drive back into bed.
No, I was going to rest for a minute. Good morning, Alfred. If you like, you can call me Alessandra. Duchess is a title I must get used to slowly.
I'm sure it is, considering the two of you ran off and got married in the middle of the night without inviting anyone important, like me, for example. It's not like I could be there before the priest could start, but I am not holding on to it. Let us start your tour before breakfast starts. Follow me.
Alfred swung around, leaving the room with his head high and hands behind his back. Alessandra felt as if she owed Alfred an apology, although she did not know him well enough to be sorry he wasn't given an invitation. It wasn't like she had planned to get married in the middle of the night.
Hurry along.
Alfred clapped his hands to get her moving.
We have a lot to cover before breakfast.
Coming!
Alessandra hurried after Alfred. She was eager to get a better look at Edgar's estate.
Breakfast normally starts early in the morning before most of the town is awake, but Edgar has instructed it to start at 9 to suit you. Edgar is either in his private room or left home by this time. Right next to the bedroom you share with Edgar is one of the smaller libraries.
Alfred opened the door for Alessandra to inspect the room.
Only a handful of servants are to enter the libraries, as we have a vast collection of books we do not want to be damaged.
You call this a small library?
Alessandra questioned, as the room was nowhere near small. How could this one library be bigger than her old bedroom, but Alfred refers to it as small?
When you see the bigger one, you will understand. Edgar enjoys reading books to pass his time, and if he is attempting to hide from anyone, you might find him in a library. As Duchess, you are free to visit the libraries as you like, but refrain from bringing too many people along with you,
said Alfred.
I won't be having visitors in the library anytime soon. I have to start making genuine friends, but I fear it would require a lot of time to do so. I have to weed out the people approaching me only to get close to Edgar, or those who might look to embarrass me. Thanks to the ridiculous rumors about me being cursed, everyone is afraid of me.
Alfred snuck a quick glance at the mask Alessandra wore to cover half of her face. He was curious about the circumstances that led her to wear a mask when she was around others.
Do you have any idea where the rumor started?
I first heard my sister joking with her friends about it. I wasn't aware of how much it spread around town until one day, my father returned home, enraged by what was being said. He got drunk and banged on my door all night, asking me to disappear. Alessandra had a vivid memory of the terrifying night. My father most likely forgot about what he said the next morning, as he never apologized for his drunken words. Or maybe he did not feel the need to apologize to a burden. That is why I do not have an ounce of remorse that he is gone. He can rot in hell forever. Pretty flowers. Alessandra caressed the dried-up petals of a flower in the library.
I added those to bring life to the library, but they have been forgotten here. Thank goodness you found them and not Edgar. He would laugh at me for not being perfect. Allow me.
Alfred took the flower from where it was in a pot and moved it to the window.
I will have someone replace it.
I'm afraid Edgar is already laughing at you not being perfect. Alessandra recalled the conversation he had with her about Jennifer. Someone working for his mother tended to me this morning. I said I would deal with it.
My apologies if she offended you. I keep telling Edgar there is no possible way to get rid of the spies his mother plants in his home. She is determined to know every possible detail about her son. It honestly gives me a headache.
Alfred rubbed his temple.
That is why I quit working for her and worked for Edgar instead.
What are his mother and father like? I have never seen or heard anything about them. Alessandra was curious about the people who created Edgar. Were they just as devious as Edgar, or did something go wrong with him in his youth?
His parents are like night and day when it comes to their personalities. His father, Edmund Collins, prefers a quiet life, which was why as soon as Edgar came of age, Edmund dumped Edgar with all the responsibilities of this land and left the town to live in the countryside. You should learn about all the great things he has done for the kingdom before he arrives. There are books in the libraries to help. You and Edmund will get along fine.
And his mother? Alessandra was more concerned about Edgar's mother. Will I get along with her? Alfred cleared his throat. He did not want to give Alessandra any false hope, but he also did not want to scare Alessandra before she even met Priscilla.
The two of you will get along at some point. Priscilla was heavily invested in getting Edgar married these last few years. She had a list of young women she believed to be ideal for Edgar, and, well,
I am nothing like the women on that list. Alessandra finished the sentence for Alfred. I take it she won't be pleased. Edgar ran off in the middle of the night and married someone like me. If she has heard the rumors, she must be afraid of me too.
Priscilla is a well-known socialite, and although she no longer lives in Lockwood, she is constantly updated with the rumors and gossip. I'm afraid she might know and won't be happy you two are already married,
said Alfred. He was upset with Edgar secretly getting married, but it would not compare to Priscilla's anger. Priscilla was only the beginning of the problems Alessandra would face. Alessandra escaped the drama with the Barretts, but now she was being thrown into the fire with her new life as a duchess. Only time would tell if she could indeed handle it. I will just have to make her like me. Alessandra became determined to prove Priscilla wrong.
I wouldn't advise you to waste your entire life trying to make her like you.
Come again? Am I truly that bad? Would it take that long for her to like me? Alessandra did not care to spend the rest of her life trying to make Edgar's mother like her. One thing in life she knew was that you could never please everyone. After a few attempts, it was best to give up. At least you could say you tried. I can't spend all my life trying to make her like me.
You won't need to. Just be respectful and cordial whenever she comes around. Truthfully, Edgar hides from his mother each time she visits, so it would be all right for you to do the same. The garden is a good place. She hates mud and bugs. I hope you do not feel like I am trying to scare you. I only wish for you to be prepared. I am rooting for you.
Alfred held up his thumbs to cheer her up. I didn't take it as you scaring me. I appreciate the heads up, but it wouldn't be right for me to avoid her as she is still my mother-in-law. When the time comes, I will handle whatever she throws my way. I knew being Edgar's wife would be difficult from the start. Let us continue with the tour. Alessandra pushed her worries about Priscilla to the side, as it wasn't of any use to stress over someone who was not here. Alfred was pleasantly surprised Alessandra was not freaking out as much as he thought she would. The rumors claimed Alessandra to be shy and timid, which meant Priscilla was in for a shock whenever she would try to break down Alessandra. Alessandra's life as the Baron's daughter was horrible, but it might have made her strong enough to handle life as a duchess in a strange way.
You are right. Forgive me for spending too much time in the library. To change the mood, how about I show you the gifts Edgar prepared for you?
Alfred smiled, excited to see her reaction to the gifts Edgar hand-picked himself. I forgot he mentioned gifts when he came to visit me this morning. I have to come up with something to give him in return. Thank you, Alessandra added when Alfred held the door for her to leave the library. What do you give a man who has everything?
Contrary to what you think, Edgar does not have everything. There is something you can give to Edgar that does not require money, but you will have to figure it out on your own. Do not mention these words to Edgar.
Alfred knew if Edgar were to find out he was trying to make Alessandra fall for him, all hell would break loose. Are you talking about love? Alessandra replied, causing Alfred to halt his steps and stare at her in shock. I would have to be dense to not know what you're hinting at. I won't say what I want to say out loud in case someone is listening to us, but I am certain you know my answer to this gift you think Edgar needs. Alessandra was not going to be the one to break the no-love rule they agreed upon in the contract. She was certain Edgar wouldn't fall in love with her either.
I am sorry for overstepping,
Alfred apologized, but it didn't mean he would give up. He would have to be secretive, as Alessandra was showing to be just as stubborn as Edgar. To change the topic, Alessandra asked, what was Edgar like as a child?
Troublesome? I spent countless years chasing after Edgar to keep him out of trouble. I don't know what possessed that boy to get joy from seeing other people cry. He is the reason I did not seek to have children of my own. That and one other reason.
Alfred cleared his throat. Alessandra was curious about the other reason for Alfred not having children. She was curious to know if he was unable to do his part in creating a child, or if there was simply no woman in his life to perform the act. Though she was curious about it, she refrained from asking to avoid invading his privacy.
When Edgar was younger, he once had a nickname, the Devil's Spawn. You would think any sane person would dislike the name, but Edgar fully embraced it and made the children regret giving it to him, said Alfred.
I don't see him being such a bad person, Alessandra concluded after thinking of her interactions with Edgar. One might think that because he easily killed my father, I would see him in a bad light. But I view him as my hero. What could he have honestly done to be given such cruel nicknames? Alfred's palms felt sweaty out of the blue as the memories of Edgar's actions flashed through his mind. He also did not view Edgar as a bad person. But if Edgar did not like you, his playful teasing side would slowly disappear and be replaced with a personality to make you regret your actions. Edgar was quite tamed these days, but Alfred feared it wouldn't last long. The Edgar that Alessandra saw now was harboring a sleeping beast on the inside.
It's better for you to not look too far into Edgar's past and continue to view him as you do now. I warned him not to do anything drastic in front of you, but look what happened last night. That boy never listens to anything I say, and quite frankly, he is trying to kill me slowly each new day. Let us change the topic once again.
Alfred sighed. The more he talked about Collins, the more depressing the house became.
Edgar has ordered all the paintings to be taken down later today, and you can organize which ones you wish to go up on the walls. Feel free to come to me if there is anything else you wish to change around. He was not certain which would interest you, so he brought a variety of canvas, paint, brushes, and anything else needed for you to create the new paintings for the house,
Alfred explained as he led Alessandra into a room filled with nothing but gifts. Alessandra was at a loss of words at the numerous items Edgar bought for her to paint. Did he buy out the entire paint shop? She joked as many different sizes of canvases and paint were stacked up in the room.
Only the 3 luxurious ones in town,
Alfred replied. Confused, Alessandra looked to her side at Alfred. There was no need for Edgar to go out of his way and deep into his pocket to buy an entire room of supplies. This must have cost a fortune. We should send some of it back. Alfred chuckled upon hearing her innocent words.
Allow me to remind you of something, dear Duchess. You married an insanely wealthy man. These things cost nothing to Edgar. Honestly, if this room has shocked you, the one next door with accessories will make you pass out.
What? Alessandra exclaimed.
Please subscribe to the Pocket FM YouTube channel and press the bell icon for instant notification. Check out our channel for more such exciting shows.